Hawkeye Sports Network. From Learfield, Iowa Hawkeye Softball is brought to you by Homewood and Home 2 Suites, preferred hotel of the Hawkeye Radio Network. Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. When corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Oak Knoll, an active life care community by University of Iowa Healthcare. Changing medicine, changing lives. Wimmer's Meats, the official hot dog of the Hawkeyes. And by Iowa City Tire and Service, a proud supporter of Hawkeye softball. Iowa City Tire, where service actually comes first. Hawkeye softball is on the air.
Live from Pearl Field at the University of Iowa, it's time to write another chapter of Iowa softball. It is senior day in Iowa City, as we'll recognize three of our best student athletes before today's game, the rubber match between the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Hi everybody, my name is Lucas Strain, and you're listening to Iowa softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Senior day is always a special day to watch as a fan or parent, but there are no words to describe how the girls themselves are feeling today. Many of us have gone through a senior day at some point earlier in our lives, and getting recognized by an entire fan base is something else, to say the least. To get awarded and applauded for all the effort, dedication, your drive, the long nights and early mornings you put into your entire career, it's something that can often move anyone to emotions they didn't know they were capable of. And it's now time for us to recognize the three student athletes being celebrated today for Senior Day as in Iowa Hawkeye uniform. Up first is Brianna Vasquez. Brianna Vasquez is a grad student from Norwalk, California. She's in her second season with the Hawkeyes after pitching 2 years at the University of Central Florida. She spent all season as the Iowa Ace, for much of the season boasting an ERA under 2. She's top 10 in most pitching categories in the Big Ten and recently tallied her 400th career strikeout. And to celebrate Senior Day, she will be getting the start in the circle for Coach Gillespie. Congratulations, Bree. Nia Carter is a senior from California as well. As a 4-year starter, what can't you say about Nia Carter? She leads the Big Ten in hits and batting average as the captain of this team, enjoying a successful year in which she has the third most hits in a single season at the University of Iowa. And if you remember in yesterday's post-game press conference with Coach Gillespie, she told us that Nia said after the game that there is no way they're losing today on Senior Day. And we'll just have to wait and see. Congratulations, Nia. And lastly, Kalena Burns is a senior from Corona, California. All three seniors on the team from California. While she hasn't seen the field this season, her impact on the team doesn't go unnoticed. Kalena embodies what it means to be a Hawkeye. And, of course, who can forget her 2 home run performance last year against Minnesota, the second of which leading the charge in what was a 6-run comeback for the Hawkeyes. And, of course, if you can remember way back to her freshman year, first career at-bat, first career home run for the girl wearing number 50. Congratulations, Kalena. Well, it's fun to celebrate our seniors. The girls have an ever-so-important game to play today. It's the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Starting lineups are coming up next.
After a cancer diagnosis, it's natural to want to start treatment right away. But first, get a second opinion from a team that specializes in your cancer. I'm Dr. George Weiner, Director of University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center. Before you start treatment, you deserve to be confident you have the right diagnosis and know every option available to you. So whether it's with us or somewhere else, get a second opinion. It can change your care and your life.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. My name is Denali.
And I'm Briley, and we're members of your Iowa Hawkeye softball team.
Our team is striving to be number one.
And that's why we trust our vehicles to Iowa City Tire and Service, the #1 automotive shop in Iowa City.
Where service actually comes first.
Iowa City Tire and Service, where their customers become friends because they treat you like family. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Proud sponsors of Hawkeye Softball.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/IowansWin.
At Oak Knoll, our mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served Iowa City for more than 55 years. Our team helps residents create home by living our values of caring, respect, enthusiasm, awareness, teamwork, and encouragement. If you're looking at retirement options, visit our website at oakknoll.com. We want you to lead life your way. Go Hawks!
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/IowansWin.
Excuse us for the technical difficulties. We are finally back, and we are live. It's the top of the first inning, so we haven't missed much. Brianna Vasquez just pitched to Kylie Sand, the Rutgers leadoff batter, and Sand grounded out on a 4-3 putout. And that was the first out of the ball game. We're only on our second batter, so we haven't missed much. Technical difficulties, had to send you guys to that waiting screen once more. I apologize for that, but we are officially underway. You're listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network. My name is Lucas Strain. Thank you for listening with Learfield. The count is now 2-2 to Peyton Lincavage. Iowa Hawkeyes playing the rubber match between the Hawkeyes and the Rutgers Scarlet Knights in what is senior day in Iowa City. And here's a line drive past a diving glove of Avery Jackson at third base. Klosterman cuts it off, and her throw to second base is just a little bit late. And sliding in safely is Peyton Lincavage, who has a one-out double. So Brianna Vasquez gets the first out of the game on a quick 4-3 putout. But Peyton Lincavage rips a double down the left field line. Avery Jackson was playing a little bit off the line, a little bit more towards the middle of the field. So there's one away. Brianna Vasquez misses a little bit inside, 1-0 to Morgan Smith. Morgan Smith is hitting .625 in the two games, 5 for 8 over the Friday and Saturday affairs. Vasquez misses inside once more. Count is 2-0. Hawkeye defense from left field over to right. Klosterman in left, Roman in center, Nia Carter out in right. In the infield, it's Avery Jackson at third, Tori Bennett at shortstop, Grace Baines at second base, Sammy Diaz at first, and Skyland Pogue is behind the plate, making her third straight start in the battery. Brianna Vasquez is now behind 3 balls and no strikes. First base is open after the one-out double, so a walk isn't the worst thing in the world here if you're Vasquez. Vasquez getting in the start on her senior day was recognized before the game by me. The seniors will get recognized on the field post-game, so we might not have our post-game interview with Coach Gillespie. And it's a 4-pitch walk for Morgan Smith, but again, not the worst thing in the world. Smith, who's been ripping the ball all over the infield over the weekend. So Vasquez is just playing cautious with her. Brings up Katie Wingert now for Rutgers. Runner in scoring position with one away. 2 on, 1 out. Wingert is struggling a little bit, is 2 for 7 in the series. Vasquez misses first pitch, and the count's 1-0, so 5 straight balls if you're Vasquez. The 1-0. Misses outside as well, so that's 2-0. Vasquez looking back in, holding that gaze with our home plate umpire just a little bit longer. Trying to figure out where that one missed, and now Pogue will jog out to the circle to have a little chit-chat with Vasquez. Try and calm her down because that's 6 straight balls following the one-out double down the left field line. So the count is 2-0 as Pogue goes back behind the plate to Katie Wingert. Vasquez into the motion, and there's a strike on the inside corner. The 2-0 is now 2-1. It's a very cold day in Iowa City. I'm wearing a polo and shorts because it sometimes gets a little bit warmer up in the booth, so I wasn't planning ahead. I was thinking about how I would be feeling up here, not compared to the walk inside. I had to run because I was a little cold. The 2-1 is pumped in there for strike 2, and the count is now 2-2 as Vasquez is able to even things up. And the 2-2 misses a little bit low, so the count is now full. Vasquez really does not want to load the bases. Wingert at the plate. Has a chance to put Rutgers up early in the first. And the off-speed misses up high and in the eyes. So it's a full count walk. Second walk of the inning for Vasquez. And the bases are now juiced, and Taylor Fawcett, the Rutgers left fielder, will be the batter. Fawcett is 1 for 4 in the series, but that one hit is a triple. Bases loaded, 1 away, and Vasquez throws the fastball up high. Ball 1. Fawcett moving up in the Rutgers lineup. Five spots been typically dominated by Ryan Orange so far this year, freshman, but she's down in the 9-hole. And this one catches the inside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 away. Bases loaded here in the top of the first inning. The 1-1 is a fly ball into deep left field. Wins knocking it down in foul territory. Tori Bennett makes the catch and falls to the ground. We're going to have a tag up. Oh, wait, no. Our base umpire changes her mind and says that it was dropped in foul territory, and that actually could be a good thing for the Hawkeyes. That could be a good thing for the Hawkeyes because the runner at third had tagged up and was easily going to score. So Tori Bennett, it kind of popped out of her glove right at the last second. When she fell to the ground, the ball was kind of hidden behind her body, and the base umpire got out there and signals no, was signaling safe. It's a foul ball. So the count's now 1-2. Bases are still loaded with 1 out. And here's another foul ball in foul territory, but this one's going to find the seats. We hear a fan out in the crowd is yelling that there should be 2 outs. There's only 1 out because the catch was not made out there. And there's a swing and a miss. Brianna Vasquez gets her now first strikeout of the afternoon. Had a little controversy in the first AB of the game, but that is officially Vasquez's first strikeout of the game on her senior day. So the counts, and here's a fly ball in deep left field. Klosterman's going to go back and easily makes the catch for out number 3. So Rutgers strands the bases loaded with a 1-out opportunity. Hawkeyes coming to bat for the first time today. You're listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. My name is Denali.
And I'm Briley, and we're members of your Iowa Hawkeye softball team.
Our team is striving to be number 1.
And that's why we trust our vehicles to Iowa City Tire and Service, the number 1 automotive shop in Iowa City.
Where service actually comes first.
Iowa City Tire and Service, where their customers become friends because they treat you like family. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Proud sponsors of Hawkeye Softball.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/IowansWin.
Hawkeyes catching a little bit of a break there. In the top of the first inning, Tori Bennett making what we initially thought was a catch in foul territory, but the catch was so deep that the runner was going to be able to tag up from third base and come around and score, but our base umpire says that there was no catch, it was dropped. And the run did not cross the plate. Now for a strikeout and then a fly ball, Hawkeyes are able to get out of the bases loaded situation. And now it's time for Iowa to come to bat for the first time today. Brightly Klosterman will lead things off. Klosterman is hitting .274 on the season. In yesterday's game, she went 1 for 2, scoring a run. Watches ball one, low and in, 1-0. We've seen a couple of different call changes so far earlier in this game. We had some technical difficulties for the first batter of the game, but we had a strike three call on what was only the second strike of the at-bat. And here's strike one. Pumped in there, BK. Count is now 1-1 strike. Fourth straight game in which she's in the leadoff spot. This after Coach Gillespie went a complete overhaul. And she watches ball two outside, and the count's 2-1. Iowa wearing their white uniforms today. Very clean. I have to say, their cleanest and crispest uniforms of the set. Gold pants, as well as gold scripted Iowa across the front. And the 2-1 misses inside, nearly hits Klosterman, counts 3-1. If you remember yesterday's game, Iowa pitching hit 5 Rutgers batters, but the thing is, Rutgers pitching also hit 3 Hawkeye batters. A lot of free passes via the hit by pitch in yesterday's game. The count's 3-1 to Klosterman leading off the bottom of the first. And the 3-1 fastball catches the black, counts full. Counts full. Briley Klosterman, who's back in the leadoff spot, was the leadoff batter last year. Hits a weak ground ball in the infield. A lot of spin on it. Second baseman goes over, and the throw over is just in time. We have catcher's interference. So Briley Klosterman is going to reach safely despite the play being made at first base. That's the second time we've seen a catcher's interference this weekend against Wingert behind the plate. Catcher's interference, so that'll go down as an error. And that is, I believe, the 4th error we've seen from Rutgers this weekend. No, check that. That's number 5. 2 errors in each of the first 2 games. And that's their second catcher's interference. And here's a hard ground ball towards the left side. Roman gets it into the outfield. The third baseman in Lynn Cabbage was playing in to play the bunt, and she just had no time to react. Hits off the tip of her glove. It's a scary moment there. Hits any harder, that's going to go right at her. So following up the catcher's interference, Tatiana Roman singles on a hard ground ball past the third baseman, Lynn Cabbage. All right, so Nia Carter is up. She is yet to get retired in this series. 3 for 3 on Friday, 4 for 4 yesterday. And if you remember yesterday, she had the bases clearing-ish single. I say ish because it was a 2-run single, and then Rutgers made a throwing error. But the bases cleared, and Nia Carter got the offensive MVP. And here's a fly ball, and she's more than likely retired for the first time in this series. Nothing like the old announcer's jinx. Had been 7 for 7 before that at bat. It was a fly ball into left center field caught by Smith out in center, and there's one away. Denali Lecker's at the plate. Denali Lecker, who's been having a very good series, probably her best series in Big Ten play thus far. Friday, hits a 2-run home run, but drove in all 3 Iowa runs, had 3 RBIs in Friday's game. Yesterday, follows it up with a 3 for 4 affair, including a double into the right center field gap. She also had an RBI, so 4 RBIs in the 2 games so far this weekend for Lecker. The 1-0 misses up and in, ball 2. Ashley Hitchcock is the pitcher today for Rutgers. First time we're seeing Hitchcock in this series. She's got a 7-2 record, a 2.73 ERA over 41 innings pitched. It's a Rutgers team that really utilizes an entire pitching staff doesn't depend on one single ace. The 2-0 misses way upstairs in the eyes to Lecker, and the count is now 3 balls and no strikes. We'll see if Lecker has the green light. Again, she's swinging it well as of late. The home run on Friday, a double yesterday. But the count's 3-0, and a walk would load the bases. We'll never know because it was a strike on the inside corner. Wasn't one Lecker probably wanted to swing at anyway. And the count's 3-1. An inning ago, Rutgers loaded the bases with 1 out, but the Hawkeyes were able to escape the jam. The 3-1 gets the inside corner. Lecker was hoping for ball 4, but the count's now full. Hitchcock looking to come all the way back after falling behind 3-0. It goes into the squat, and the pitch is fouled off the hands. We'll do it all over again. Rubber match between the two teams. Rutgers sitting at 10-12 on their road records, 8-10 in the Big Ten. And here's a fly ball on the infield. Calling it is the second baseman in Lawson who makes the catch just on the lip. So the first 2 runners reach, but back-to-back fly balls leads to 2 outs now for the Hawkeyes. Sammy Diaz is at the plate, and the Hawkeyes look to avoid spoiling a promising opportunity in the first inning. He scored 2 runs in the first inning in yesterday's game and followed it up with a run in the second to take a 3-0 lead. A 3-0 lead, but Rutgers eventually came and tied the game. But then again, that 4-run 5th inning for the Hawkeyes put them ahead and put them in front permanently and made the final score 7-4. Diaz watches ball 1 outside, 1-0. And Diaz takes a hack and just fouls it off the padding. 1 ball and 1 strike. Couple of Hawkeyes on board. First 2 Hawkeyes reached safely. Briley Klosterman hit a ground ball to second base and was thrown out at first, but was told to stay at first base because we had a catcher's interference call. One of the only delayed calls in all of baseball and softball. Strike 2 on the curveball, catches the outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So the count's now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sammy Diaz at the plate. Briley Klosterman's on second. Tatiana Roman at first. Into the motion, and the pitch is upstairs, 2-2. Two and two. The wind's picked up as strong as it's been. We'll get back into that when we have a chance later in the broadcast. Right now, it's a crucial point. Deuces are wild, 2-2, 2 outs, 2 runners on. And it misses up and out, full count. Runners will be moving on the pitch. Full count, 2 outs, 2 runners on, and here's the pitch. And it's called ball 4. The curveball missed up high. So Sammy Diaz now draws a walk and loads the bases. Tori Bennett now has a chance with the bases loaded. This is, I believe, the 3rd time in 4 games in which Tori Bennett has come to the plate with the bases loaded in the first inning. I could be wrong. I don't have anything pulled up in front of me. This is just me basing it off of memory. I believe it's the 3rd time in 4 games she's come up in the first inning with the bases loaded and rips a line drive into left field, drops down for a base hit. 1 run scores, 2 runs score, and the Hawkeyes lead 2-0. This throw gets into center field and past Smith, the center fielder. 3 runs are going to score. Bennett stands on third. The bases are cleared. Torrey Bennett, the 2-run single into left field. Sammy Diaz got off second base a little bit hard. The catcher and winger threw it to second to try and catch her. But her throw went high, and the wind pushed it off to the right and just out of the reach of Morgan Smith, the Rutgers center fielder. So it got past her and almost rolled to the wall. Been a little bit of a little league play there. And 3 runs score for the Hawkeyes. 2 errors in the top of the first inning for Rutgers have already matched the total they've had in each of the first 2 games. Grace Baines watches ball 1. A curveball on the outside corner. 1-0. Torrey Bennett stands on third. Another bases clearing-ish play for the Hawkeyes. And here's a weak ground ball down the third baseline, but foul. It's a Hawkeye team that just looks a little bit different than what we've seen over the last couple of weeks. Even in Friday's game, they appeared to have a little bit of fight. Wednesday, after falling behind 3-2, it just kind of seemed like they gave in, but not today, not yesterday. Yesterday, after they took the 3-0 lead, and Rutgers came all the way back to tie the game, Iowa easily could have just packed it in and said that's enough. Could have hung their heads, but no, they struck for 4 in the 5th inning and have jumped out to a 3-0 lead now in the bottom of the first. The 1-2 misses up high, and the count's 2 balls and 2 strikes to the Iowa second baseman in Baines. Avery Jackson waits on deck as Baines is the 7th batter to come to plate in the inning. And the 2-2 is blooped out into right field, and that'll drop in safely for a base hit. Another run scores in Torrey Bennett, a 4-run first inning for the Hawkeyes. Grace Baines takes a pitch that's just on the outer half of the plate, right on the black, just on the corner, and she kind of bloops it out into right field. And Bach, the Rutgers right fielder, was playing pretty deep. Didn't have a chance to catch the bloop single. Torrey Bennett scores from third, and Iowa now leads 4-0. They scored 4 runs in the 5th inning yesterday and are matching it with 4 more in the first today. Avery Jackson's at the plate, watches ball 1, 1-0. Avery Jackson hitting just .122 on the season, 10 hits and 82 ABs, and here we'll have a meeting on the mound, or in the circle, I should say. For the Rutgers infield, Iowa leads at 4-0. Have 4 runs on 3 hits and have used 2 Rutgers errors. A catcher's interference, their second catcher's interference of the weekend, and a throwing error by the catcher winger, which allowed the 3rd run of the inning to score, and really allowed Torrey Bennett to advance safely to third base as well. So really those 2 errors proving to be the difference in this first frame. It's a 4-0 lead for Iowa after Rutgers had the bases loaded with 1 out in the top of the first, but the Hawkeyes were able to escape the jam. Rutgers unable to do the same. Torrey Bennett came up with a big 2-out, 2-run single. And the 1-0 misses low, so Avery Jackson now ahead 2 balls and no strikes. So the count's 2-0, and it runs inside, nearly hits her. Snap throw to first is a little low, a little late. Avery Jackson just jumped out of the way, so the count is now 3 balls and no strikes. The second 3-0 of the inning for Ashley Hitchcock. Fell behind 3-0 to Denali Lecker. Came all the way back and got Lecker to pop out on the infield. Looking to do the same against Jackson. The 3-0. He's called strike one. Catches the inside corner, 3-1. Grace Bain stands on first base, has 1 stolen base on the year. With a 3-1 count, you think maybe a stealing opportunity? The 3-1, he's ball 4. A little low. And now 2 runners on with 2 outs. And the 9th Hawkeye batter to come to bat in the inning for the Hawkeyes, Skyland Pogue, who's getting her 3rd straight start, has started all 3 games in this series. Pogue, the freshman who had a fantastic arm behind the plate, and that's a big reason as to why Coach Gillespie elected to start her. This Rutgers team, 77 stolen bases coming into the series. Pogue watches strike one on the inner half, 0-1. Bain stands on second base. Avery Jackson's over at first. Pogue comes up empty on the 0-1 off speed and is quickly behind 0-2. Coach Gillespie looking for some production behind the plate. Both of her catchers, Tristan Doster, who has started much of the season, has gone on quite a skid, to say the least. And Skyland Pogue is trying to say that this hitter, and the home plate umpire is going to listen to her. He's going to listen to her. Skyland Pogue says a curveball on the inside grazed her forearm. And she's very adamant about it. And the home plate umpire is going to listen to her. She's going to grant the hit by pitch. And the bases are loaded. I kind of can't believe that. I mean, Skyland Pogue just told the umpire it hit me. And if I'm the Rutgers coach, I'm livid. Which it appears she is. I would be very upset if I was the Rutgers head coach. And Kristen Butler, I mean, Skyland Pogue just tells our home plate umpire, Sergio Villarreal, that she was hit on the 0-2 curveball. I mean, it very may well have hit her. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm sitting up in the press box. I don't know. I don't even know if our home plate umpire was sure. And he's just listening to Pogue. But now it's a 4-0 lead with 2 outs. Bases are now loaded. Briley Klosterman is coming back to bat for her 2nd time in the inning. And the first pitch misses outside, 1-0. Klosterman reached base safely on a catcher's interference to lead off the game and eventually came around and scored. It was the first of 2 errors in the inning for the Scarlet Knights. It was a ground ball that she hit towards second base, but we said that it had a lot of weird spin on it, and that was the reasoning for it, because her bat grazed Wingert's mitt behind the plate. That'll go down as 2 errors for Wingert, her 3rd error of the series. Counts 1-1. Bases are loaded with 2 away. Hawkeyes already lead 4-0. The 1-1 to Klosterman gets the outside part of the plate just on the black. Klosterman doesn't like it. But the count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Rutgers defense is playing standard pretty much everywhere. The 1-2 misses way outside. 2-2, deuces are wild. A serious lack of command thus far for Ashley Hitchcock. Counts 2-2. Bases loaded. And the pitch. It gets away from Wingert behind the plate. It bounced in front of the plate. Another run's going to score for the Hawkeyes. Grace Baines advancing on the wild pitch. That 2-2 bounced quite a bit in front of our home plate. I'd say at least 2-3 feet. And Wingert just had no chance at it. Hits right off her chest protector and ricochets over to the third base dugout. Grace Baines heads up base running. Iowa lead is 5-0. And Klosterman swings and misses for the third out, but after a 5-run first inning for the Hawkeyes, they hit around. Klosterman came around and hit twice. 5 runs on 3 hits and using 2 Rutgers defensive errors from Katie Wingert behind the plate. After 1, Iowa leads at 5-0. You're listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network.
Knowing that I can make a difference in my patients' lives keeps me motivated every single day. Hi, I'm Dr. Kanya Ferguson at University of Iowa Healthcare. With academic medicine, we see the toughest cases, so we're always innovating. And we bring the best minds together to collaborate, so there's more brain power focused on you. Because that leads to exceptional care for our patients and our community. See how at uihc.org.
At Oak Knoll, our mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served Iowa City for more than 55 years. Our team helps residents create home by living our values of caring, respect, enthusiasm, awareness, teamwork, and encouragement. If you're looking at retirement options, visit our website at oakknoll.com. We want you to lead life your way. Go Hawks!
The rubber match between the two teams, and Iowa is already holding a 5-0 lead after putting up a 5 spot in the first inning. 10 Hawkeye batters came around to bat. They scored 5 runs on 3 hits and used 2 Rutgers errors, and it's not for a lack of effort that Rutgers they gave at the plate in the first inning. They loaded the bases with one out. It initially looked like they were going to score a run on a sacrifice fly in foul territory in left field, but Tori Bennett, who it looked like initially made the catch, fell to the ground in the attempt, and the ball dropped out of her glove. Hawkeyes catching a bit of a break because the run definitely would have scored from third. There is a 1-0 count now on Kayla Bach that now moves to 2-0 out of the hand of Brianna Vasquez. Iowa leads at 5-0. Iowa leads 5-0 here in the top of the second inning. So the count's 2-0. And Vasquez misses upstairs, and it's now 3 balls and no strikes. After what's been a pretty chaotic, a pretty hectic first inning, we are 39 minutes into this game, and we have played 6 outs. And called strike 1, so Brianna Vasquez finally pumps it back into the zone. And the count's 3-1. Kayla Bach, a junior for Rutgers, playing right field today. Swings and misses, and the count goes full. Vasquez looking to work all the way back. Kayla Bach is 1 for 3 in the series, but that one hit was a home run in yesterday's game that tied the game at 3-3. A solo home run, the first home run of the season for Bach. She watches the 3-2 miss upstairs for ball 4. That is the third walk of the game for Brianna Vasquez, who we saw on Friday's game showed a lack of command as well. And it appears everything that she's missing up high. And this is a screwball that just cuts out of the zone to the left-handed hitting Megan Herka. Herka, the first baseman, started the game on Friday, went 1 for 3, came in yesterday's game in a pinch-hitting opportunity. And hits a sky-high fly ball into right field towards foul territory. Nia Carter makes the catch just left of the line, and there's one away. You know, I've seen Megan Herka has now come to the plate 5 times in this series, and I think 4 of them have been just fly balls, the highest fly balls we've seen all season. We're going to have a pinch runner over at first base in place of Bach. The pinch runner over at first base is number 11, Leilani Chavez, the junior from Covina, California. Quite a few players from California in this game. All 3 Iowa seniors getting recognized before and after today's game on Senior Day from California as well. Here's a pop fly in foul territory behind the plate, and the catch is made by Skyland Pogue just behind the plate, and that's an easy second out. So Vasquez leads off the second inning with a walk, but had now gotten a pair of outs in the air. Misses outside, 1-0. It's back to the top of the order for Rutgers. And Kylie Sand. And Sand's been kind of wreaking havoc thus far all series. We had a really good game on Friday for the Scarlet Knights. Watches ball 2 upstairs, 2-0. She is 3 for 7 in the series with a pair of doubles. Both of those doubles coming in the game on Friday. In that Friday game, she went 2 for 3, driving in a run, scoring as well, and also walked. She's ahead 2-0 now, and it's now 2-1. Screwball catches the outside corner to the left-handed hitting Sand. The 2-1 from the senior shows bunt, does Sand, but bunts it foul. And deuces are now wild. Trying to bunt for a hit was Sand. Showing it down late. Just getting off the end of the bat. And she's probably wanted to pull the bat back there as that ball was pretty much at eye level. The 2-2. Just misses outside for ball 3. Pogue behind the plate, turning around and asking where that one was at. And maybe it was just a little bit outside, but Pogue really sold it behind the plate. So the count's full, 2 outs. Chavez will be moving on the pitch. The full count pitch is fouled off. Over the third base dugout and over the outstretched hands of some fans in the stands. As I said, Kylie Sand has been a threat to the Hawkeyes all season long. Really because of her aggressiveness on the base paths, has 26 stolen bases on the season. And she fouls one off the padding. And the count is now still full. This will be the 8th pitch of the AB. And this after we saw an 11-pitch at-bat yesterday. Out of this Rutgers team, they really have the ability to work these Iowa pitchers, make them use a lot of pitches. The full count pitch is another foul ball down the left field line. Klosterman has room but can't quite get there. So that's the 3rd straight foul ball we've seen with the full count and 2 outs. This will be the 9th pitch of the AB. Brianna Vasquez has already thrown 43 pitches. And now Pogue's going to go out to the circle as Sand goes over and talks to the third base coach. We see an SEC matchup in the softball world today as well. Getting the highlight on ESPN, so good for college softball. Getting some airtime on the main mother network. 16th ranked Alabama defeating 14th ranked LSU Tigers 2-0 in the top of the 5th inning. And now Mandy Gardner's going to go out to the circle and talk with Vasquez. So the delay will hold on just a little bit longer. If we look at the weather today in Iowa City, it's been raining in parts of the town. It's not raining right now at Pearl Field, however. 45 degrees and very windy. Winds north of 20 miles an hour. The flags have been flapping around out in right center field for essentially the entire game. Most of the times you just see the flags are pointing straight out. So now Sand will finally get ready to get back into the batter's box. Count is still full with 2 outs. Runner on first and Chavez. Top of the second, Hawkeyes lead 5-0. Vasquez's pitch is a little low for ball 4. Her 4th walk of the game for Vasquez. And I think I don't really like all of the visits there because it kind of cools down Vasquez. She hadn't thrown a pitch in about 2 minutes. And you expect her to come back and what's a full count? Nonetheless, Peyton Lincavage will bat now for the Knights. She watches ball 1 miss inside 1-0. Lincavage is 1 for 1, doubled on a hard ground ball down the third base line, just past the diving glove of Avery Jackson in the 1st inning. She has a runner in scoring position now. It's now 2-0 as Vasquez missed. So the count's 2-0, 2 on, 2 out. And Vasquez now misses upstairs to make it 3-0. Still continues to miss the zone, is behind 3 balls and no strikes. Has thrown 4 walks already in this game. The 3-0 misses up high as well, so that's a 4-pitch walk. 5th walk of the game, 3rd one of the inning for Brianna Vasquez. So ever since that meeting, Brianna Vasquez has been unable to find the zone, has thrown 5 straight balls, and now the bases are loaded for Morgan Smith. And she swings first pitch, hits a hard ground ball into left field, and it's going to find the grass. 2-run score for Rutgers as they now trail 5-2. So the walks have come back to hurt Vasquez. 3 walks in the inning. 2 of those now coming around to score. Iowa lead is 5-2. And Katie Winger comes up, swings first pitch, hits a line drive out into right center field, and it's going to find the gap over the glove of Roman. 1 run scores, 2 runs score. It's a 4-run second inning for Rutgers, and they now trail 5-4. A 2-run double off the bat of Katie Wingert. And after Iowa puts up a 5 spot in the first, Rutgers responds with 4 of their own, and they now trail by 1 run. Looks like we're going to have a runner out at second base as well. I only think we're going to have a runner. The runner over at second base, Orozco. And now the batter will be Taylor Fawcett for Rutgers. Fawcett, the left fielder. He's 1 for 4 in the series and has 3 RBIs. There are 2 away, and here's swinging first pitch is Fawcett, and she lines one down the left field line, but foul. So Rutgers now trails by 1. It's a Rutgers offense that is kind of went quiet yesterday against Jalen Adams, and Denali Lecker on Friday really lit up Brianna Vasquez, a bunch of hard hit balls, and we're seeing that continue so far today. Fawcett is now even the count at 1-1. And what is a 1-run game now. And Brianna Vasquez, nice change up there to catch the inside corner. Kind of froze Fawcett at the plate, and it's 1-2. The 1-2 is a fly ball in left center field. It's a little shallow. Roman goes back initially, but now comes in and makes the two-handed catch on the back of the Tiger Hawk. But Rutgers is able to plate 4 and has made this a 1-run game. As we head to the bottom of the second inning, Iowa leads at 5-4. You're listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. My name is Denali.
And I'm Briley, and we're members of your Iowa Hawkeye softball team.
Our team is striving to be number 1.
And that's why we trust our vehicles to Iowa City Tire and Service, the #1 automotive shop in Iowa City.
Where service actually comes first.
Iowa City Tire and Service, where their customers become friends because they treat you like family. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Proud sponsors of Hawkeye Softball.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/IowansWin.
We have a pitching change for Rutgers in the bottom of the second inning. Ashley Hitchcock only goes the 1 inning, giving up 5 runs. However, only 2 of them were earned, as there were 2 Rutgers errors in the bottom of the first. New pitcher for Rutgers will be number 9, and Jaden Vickers. Vickers, who we've already seen earlier in this series. Vickers, who pitched game 1 on Friday, went the complete game, giving up 3 runs, all of them earned, on 8 hits and striking out 5. Tatiana Roman watches ball 1 inside, 1-0. Vickers' stats on the season has a 10-6 record, including the win on Friday. A 3.02 ERA over 90 and a third innings pitched. Is behind 1-0, and the first batter she sees today, Tatiana Roman. Roman, who singled on a hard ground ball down the third baseline in the first inning, later came around and scored, is now ahead 2-0. What's been a very chaotic first inning and a half. We are 55 minutes into this game, and we're only in the bottom of the second inning. 9 total runs scored thus far. The 2-0 misses upstairs, and Roman is now ahead 3-0. Vickers looking to find the strike zone in her first batter. Roman, who has started every single game this season for the Hawkeyes out in center field, has been swinging it very well as of late. And watches her first strike of the AB, 3-1. Roman, who really struggled at the beginning of Big Ten play, has really turned it on as of late. Yesterday ended what was a couple-game hitting streak for Roman. Watches strike two. She thought it was ball 4 on the inside half, but the count's now full. In game 1 on Friday against Jaden Vickers, Tatiana Roman went 2 for 4, getting a hit in her first 2 ABs of it, and she also scored a run. And now she battles tough on the full count pitch, fouls one into the netting. Count's still full. Iowa looking to back up what was a 5-run first frame. But Rutgers responded well, scoring 4 of their own. And have pulled back within 1. Iowa's lost just 1 time this season, when scoring in the first inning. Roman fouls it off into the netting again. Count's still full. We already saw just a half inning ago, Kylie Sand, the Rutgers leadoff batter and shortstop, had a 10-pitch AB in which she fouled off a couple of full count pitches and eventually drew the walk. Tatiana Roman looking to repeat that. The count's still full, and Roman's able to check her swing on a pitch low. So it's a carbon copy, and Tatiana Roman draws the leadoff walk on the, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th pitch of the AB. Nia Carter now will bat for the Hawkeyes. In the first inning, she was retired for the first time this season. Was 7 for 7 in the 2 games before. Flew out to left center field in the first. And she watches strike 1 over the heart of the plate, 0-1. On Friday against Vickers, Nia Carter went 3 for 3 with 3 singles and scoring a run. Yesterday going 4 for 4, including a 2-run single in the bottom of the 5th inning that gave the Hawkeyes the lead, and Iowa never looked back. She watches strike 2 on the outer half, 0-2. It's an approach we really don't see very often from Nia Carter. She's usually coming up and she's swinging very aggressive in the box, but has now watched the first 2 pitches cross the strike zone. It's now 0-2. And this one is outside on a fastball that had a little bit of cut as well. Out of the hand of Jaden Vickers. Nia Carter, who is celebrating her senior day today, will be recognized following the result of today's game. Was given the offensive MVP in yesterday's game. And she hits a hard ground ball to second base, fielded by Lawson, flipped to second for the first. But the throw over to first is not in time. So that's a fielder's choice, 4-6 fielder's choice. And there's 1 away now in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Denali Lecker, the new Hawkeye batter. Lecker is 0 for 1. Flied out on the infield in the first. But of course, she's had a very productive weekend Friday. Hit a home run off of Vickers. A 2-run home run over the right center field wall. And backed it up yesterday with a 3 for 4 performance. And this one is sky high and up and off the padding. Nia Carter is able to advance on the wild pitch. Couple of wild pitches we've seen now. First one was in the first inning and allowed Grace Baines to score. But Jaden Vickers threw this one sky high, and it hit the padding in the air. Winger didn't even have a chance at it behind the plate. And the 1-0 is a curveball, a backdoor curveball on the outer half. And it's now 1-1. One thing I'm most impressed about Jaden Vickers is her ability to mix up her pitches. Keeps the Iowa offense guessing. Really don't know what's going to come next. The 1-1 misses low and inside. Denali Lecker is now ahead 2 balls and 1 strike. First base is open. following the wild pitch. Nia Carter stands on second. Lecker's ahead 2-1. And the pitch is a fly ball in foul territory. Herka gives chase, does the first baseman, but just runs out of room. And the count is now 2-2. Again, senior day in Iowa City, in which 3 student athletes and 3 student managers will be recognized following the outcome of today's game. Brianna Vasquez, one of the seniors, getting the start today in the circle. Nia Carter, another senior who's out at second base. As Lecker's able to foul off one in and on the hands. A tough 2-strike pitch. And the count's still 2-2. Nia Carter stands on second base. Wind is still blowing out very strong towards right field. Lecker reaches out of the zone, but just gets enough. That was one that was going to be pretty borderline. And it's a good job of Lecker just not leaving it up to the umpire. He's making the choice herself. You're not going to call me down on something that's just a little bit out of the zone. I'm not going to give you that opportunity. I'm going to spoil it and get myself another pitch. Live to see another day. Count still 2-2. The pitch to Lecker. And she does the exact same thing here. This one probably even a little bit closer. Just off the black. In which she was able to just get enough of it on the end of the bat. Her timing is doing well right now, is Lecker. She's not necessarily lunging at anything. We'll see if Vickers will try and catch her with an off-speed in. Lecker swings out of the zone, and now a snap throw to second base to get Nia Carter, and she slides in safely just ahead of the tag. Carter got off pretty far. And now we're going to have a talk from the Rutgers coach in Butler, and she's going out to ask the base umpire if he can ask for some help. Carter was off the bag pretty far, you could say. This is about just a little bit shy of halfway to third base. And Winger starts running at her, runs her back to second before eventually making the snap throw, and Carter slides in just safely. The umpires confer. And Nia Carter is still at second base, but it's a strikeout for Denali Lecker. And Sammy Diaz is at the plate now. Diaz walked in the first inning. Diaz later came around and scored as well, one of the 5 runs the Hawkeyes scored in that first frame. And Diaz watches a first pitch, strike 1. In the corner, 0-1. Iowa leading 5-4 in the bottom of the second inning. Putting up 5 runs in the first after Rutgers responds with 4 of their own. Iowa looking to retake a little bit more of a lead. After what we've seen so far in this series, 1 run is just not enough. So the count's 1-1 to Sammy Diaz. Diaz, the first baseman who started every single game over at first. And she watches strike 2 on the outer half. 1 ball and 2 strikes. There are only 4 players on this Iowa team who can say that they have started every single game. Diaz is one of them. Nia Carter, who stands on second, is another one. The 1-2 misses outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Deuces are wild. Jaden Vickers in her first inning of relief for the Scarlet Knights, getting ready to throw her 25th pitch of the inning. Threw a leadoff walk to Tatiana Roman, but then Nia Carter grounded into a fielder's choice, and after a wild pitch, she got to second base. The 2-2 is lined down the right field line, but slices foul. Initially off the bat, I thought it was having a chance of dropping in fair territory. Count still 2-2. Runner on second base in the form of Nia Carter. Iowa leads by 1. The 2-2 is swung on and missed by Sammy Diaz. Jaden Vickers gets her second strikeout of the inning. And after 2 complete, Iowa leads at 5-4. As we head to the top of the 3rd inning, you're listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. My name is Denali.
And I'm Briley, and we're members of your Iowa Hawkeye softball team.
Our team is striving to be number 1.
And that's why we trust our vehicles to Iowa City Tire and Service, the #1 automotive shop in Iowa City.
Where service actually comes first.
Iowa City Tire and Service, where their customers become friends because they treat you like family. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Proud sponsors of Hawkeye Softball.
To the top of the 3rd inning we go. I'm Lucas Strain. You're listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Iowa leads at 5-4. We have a pitching change that we're going to have to talk about for the Hawkeyes. So Brianna Vasquez is done on her senior day. She goes 2 innings, but gives up 4 runs for the Hawkeyes. New pitcher. For Iowa is number 25, Devin Greer. Greer, it's only her 12th appearance on the season, but I mean, outside of the top 3 that are always used for the Hawkeyes, Greer is probably that number 4. Her 12th appearance of the year, has a 3-2 record, a 3.40 ERA, in 35 innings pitched. And this after Denali Lecker has thrown, let's see, I'm not going to be able to do the math, but 90 pitches on Friday, in 40 yesterday, so that's pretty round numbers. I can do that. That's 130 pitches over the last 2 days. Jalen Adams throwing 95 yesterday. So Coach Gillespie goes to Devin Greer in a 1-run game in the top of the 3rd inning. So Devin Greer gets to face 6, 7, 8 in the Rutgers order. And her first time pitching in this weekend. Gets a first pitch strike on the inside corner, 0-1. And she skips one just short of the glove of Skyland Pogue behind the plate. Nearly ricocheted all the way over the netting. Devin Greer, she threw 1 inning against Western Illinois 2 Wednesdays ago. She gave up 1 run on 2 hits. Also got a strikeout and a walk. Misses again, 2 balls and 1 strike. And really, Greer is she's had a pretty solid season. It's 2 bad appearances that has kind of made her numbers look a little bit worse than they are. And a 3.40 ERA is still pretty decent, as this one's fouled off over the netting, 2-2 to Maddie Lawson. If we look at Greer's first 5 appearances on the season, she had a 2.41 ERA over 20 1/3 innings pitched. And those 2 bad appearances, as the 2-2 is a ground ball, just foul. Avery Jackson diving attempt, hit off her glove, was waiting for the home plate umpire to make a signal. And our home plate umpire raises his arms in the air and says it's foul. Count still 2-2. In those 2 bad appearances for Greer, he was at South Dakota in a home game, or I should say a neutral site game. They were the home team, but a neutral site game against Marist. In those 2 games combined, she went 6 innings, giving up 9 runs. So those are the 2 games that are really skewing her numbers. And she misses up and out, and the count's now full to Maddie Lawson, the Rutgers second baseman. The full count pitch is a line drive into center field. Tatiana Roman coming on, and she makes the sliding catch for out number 1. Really nice play from Tatiana Roman, who's put on a Gold Glove performance so far this weekend. makes an amazing read off the bat, comes in, makes a sliding backhanded catch on what was a line shot off the bat of Maddie Lawson. Re-entering the game after getting pinch ran for is Kayla Bach. But Tatiana Roman, who made a fantastic leaping catch in yesterday's game, going full extension in right center field, striking the Air Jordan pose while she was in midair, now comes on and makes a sliding catch with the backhand, taking away what was a surefire base hit. Kayla Bach flies one in foul territory down the first baseline. Diaz goes after it, but runs into the wall. Counts 0-1. Kayla Bach, the starting right fielder, drew a walk in the second inning and was ran for, but has now re-entered the game for her offensive prowess. Hit a home run in yesterday's game, first home run of the season. And now a nice off-speed pitch out of the hand from Devin Greer, and the count's 0-2. Top of the third inning, Iowa leads it by 1 in the rubber match. Rutgers taking game 1 on Friday, final score 5-3. Iowa winning game 2 7-4 yesterday. The 0-2 misses outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And what's a very cold game, very windy game here in Iowa City. Quite the opposite of what we've seen the first 2 games. Weak ground ball, Avery Jackson charging, makes the throw on the run, and a nice pick over at first base from Sammy Diaz. Avery Jackson coming on, fields it just in front of the third base line, just in fair territory. Kind of has to rush her throw a little bit, and it's thrown in the dirt, but a nice pick from Sammy Diaz over at first base. So a couple of nice defensive plays backing up Devin Greer, and there's 2 away. And swinging first pitch is Herka, coming in as Roman, and another diving catch! She's got a pair of web gems in the inning. This time a diving catch just below the Tiger Hawk. Tatiana Roman showing off the gold glove. Yesterday was given the defensive MVP. Today, she's on track to doing the same. A sliding catch for the first out, and now a diving catch for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down as we head to the bottom of the third. Iowa leads it 5-4. You're listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
After a cancer diagnosis, it's natural to want to start treatment right away. But first, get a second opinion from a team that specializes in your cancer. I'm Dr. George Weiner, Director of University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center. Before you start treatment, you deserve to be confident you have the right diagnosis and know every option available to you. So whether it's with us or somewhere else, get a second opinion. It can change your care and your life.
Jaden Vickers is back out in the circle for her second inning of relief. Have to imagine it's her game the rest of the way. She went the complete game on Friday, earning her 10th victory of the season. Vickers really the best pitcher on this squad. I mean, you look at it's a team that doesn't really utilize an ace, but uses a little bit of everybody. And she's going to face Tori Bennett to lead off the bottom of the third. Bennett, who came up with the bases loaded and 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning, and laces a single into left field, 2 runs scored, and then chaos ensued on the bases. Sammy Diaz, who rounded second base a little bit hard. Katie Wingert tried to catch her napping back behind second base. And Wingert's throw towards the second base bag was airmailed. And it got past the center fielder in Morgan Smith. And another run scored on the play. And Tori Bennett got all the way to third in what was just a single into left. The count's now 2-0 to Bennett as the first 2 pitches from Vickers miss up high. Jaden Vickers, who started last inning after Ashley Hitchcock went just 1 inning in this game, giving up 5 runs in the first, although just 3 of them were earned. And now it's 2 balls and 1 strike to Tori Bennett. In the series, Bennett went 2 for 3 yesterday, including came around and scored. She also drew a walk. The 2-1 misses low and away. 3 balls and 1 strike. Tori Bennett, who was hitting in the 3-hole for much of the season for Iowa, the entirety of Big Ten play. Swings and misses on 1 out of the zone, and the count is now full. So the count's now full. Tori Bennett, who again was hitting in the 3-hole, has been slid down to the 6th spot, but has really been swinging it well for the Hawkeyes ever since getting moved down. And she laces one out into center field, but right at Morgan Smith, the Rutgers center fielder. And that'll be out number 1. Grace Baines at the plate now for Iowa, who is also 1 for 1 today. She hit a bloop single into right field, got an RBI on the play, which helped score Tori Bennett. It was a piece that was just on the outside corner, and Baines was able to poke it out into right field, and with a little bit of help from the wind, it dropped in safely in the middle of nowhere's land between Bach, the right fielder, and Lawson, the second baseman. First pitch misses upstairs, 1-0. 1 away. Iowa leads at 5-4 after putting up a 5 spot in the first. Rutgers responds with 4 of their own in the second. We are 1 hour and 18 minutes into this game, and it is just the bottom of the 3rd inning. All 3 games this weekend, as the 1-0 misses up and out, 2 balls and no strikes. All 3 games this weekend have taken well over 2 hours. You see most softball games typically just take about 2 hours, give or take just a few minutes. But the count's now 3-0 to Grace Baines. We are well on pace to going over that 2 hour threshold. The 3-0. He's called strike 1. So Jaden Vickers has gotten to quite a few 3-ball counts. This one is 3-1, and Baines fouls one off over the first base dugout, and the count is now full. Back-to-back full counts for Jaden Vickers. I think that would have to be probably her 4th one of the game, and she's only in her 2nd inning of relief. And has only gotten 1 out in her 2nd inning. So the count's full, and the pitch to Baines misses outside, and that'll go down as a 1-out walk for Grace Baines. Avery Jackson, the batter for Iowa, who walked in her first plate appearance. A first inning in which 10 Hawkeyes came around to bat. We look at how many walks the teams have both thrown today. Rutgers has walked 4 Iowa batters. Iowa has walked 5 Scarlet Knights. All 5 of those coming out of the hand of Brianna Vasquez. And we have a swinging foul ball off of Jackson. It looks like Grace Baines, who was over at first base, I think she was getting ready to run on that play. Baines on the season has just one stolen base in her only attempt, but it looked like she was going to get moving there. And this one is fouled off, so 2 pitches, 2 foul balls off the bat of Avery Jackson. Avery Jackson quickly behind 0-2. Grace Baines stands on first. Iowa is leading by 1 run here in the bottom of the 3rd inning in the rubber match of our 3-game set on Senior Day in Iowa City. The 0-2 misses upstairs, 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's an Iowa team that yesterday's win stopped a 5-game losing skid. Both teams fighting for playoff positioning as the regular season comes to a close in the Big Ten tournament, starting in just about a week and a half in Champaign, Illinois. Avery Jackson swings and misses for strike 3, and there are 2 away. Skyland Pogue will bat for the Hawkeyes. Pogue, if you remember, this is my favorite play of the game thus far. She was behind on an 0-2 count, and there was a curveball on the inside part of the plate, definitely a ball and in and off the plate. And the home plate umpire is just standing there for a second, and then Skyland Pogue turns around and tells him, "It hit me. It hit me right on the forearm." And then he thinks, stops for a second, and then believes her, sends her down to first base. Pogue comes up swinging first pitch, and fouls it off. 0-1. That hit by pitch eventually loaded the bases for the Hawkeyes, and the very next batter, a wild pitch allowed the run to score, so it was a very important hit by pitch. This one misses up and out, 1-1. One ball and 1 strike. The pitch. Misses a little bit low, 2 balls and 1 strike to the freshman catcher. This season, Pogue is hitting 194, and this her 20th start of the season, 3rd straight start in a row. Has 7 hits and 36 ABs. Hasn't seen really any Big Ten playing time this season. Fouls this one off, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Deuces are wild. She served as the flex in yesterday's game, did Pogue. But today her bat's in the lineup. Was starting in the lineup on Friday, went 0 for 2. Was pinch hit for in her 3rd plate appearance by Doster, but re-entered the game in the catching position. The 2-2 misses outside. Snap throw to first is late. And the count is full. We have a defensive replacement as well over at first base. I guess we should have said it earlier. Herka, who started the game at first base, has been replaced by With Stanley. With Stanley, who we've seen play a lot of first base so far this series. So the count's full. Runner will be moving on the pitch, and the pitch is swung on and missed. The throw down to second goes into the outfield, but it doesn't matter, as the swinging strikeout was out number 3. So Jaden Vickers strikes out the side and works around a 1-out walk to Grace Baines. As we head to the top of the 4th, Iowa leads at 5-4. You're listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network.
At Oak Knoll, our mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served Iowa City for more than 55 years. Our team helps residents create home by living our values of caring, respect, enthusiasm, awareness, teamwork, and encouragement. If you're looking at retirement options, visit our website at oakknoll.com. We want you to lead life your way. Go Hawks!
Ryan Orange is the scheduled leadoff batter for the Scarlet Knights. Ryan Orange, who spent the first 2 games of the series hitting in the 5-hole, but now the freshman has moved down into the 9th spot, serving as the second leadoff batter. When corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Take a closer look and you'll discover the many connections you have to corn, and those connections translate into wins for farmers and wins for all Iowans. Share your winning moments using hashtag IowansWin. Devin Greer is still in the circle for the Hawkeyes. Greer getting her first pitching appearance of the weekend. Pitched the scoreless third inning, in which she saw only 3 Rutgers batters come to the plate and was able to retire all 3. A couple of defensive web gems from Tatiana Roman out in center field, a sliding catch and then a diving catch. And the highlights have been posted to the Iowa Twitter. Greer's first pitch to Orange misses, and the count's 1-0. Devin Greer now called strike 1 on the outside corner. Orange doesn't like it at the plate. Takes a couple steps to cool her mind off just a little bit. But the home plate umpire said it caught the black. The 1-1 from Greer is swung on and missed, strike 2. Iowa defense playing shallow in the outfield. With this wind, everything in the air is essentially dying. It's pointed out towards right. But really, we've seen everything in the air is just kind of stopped. The 1-2 misses outside, pretty much the exact same spot as that first called strike that Orange didn't like. So the umpire changing his mind just a little bit. The count's now 2-2. Greer into the motion and the pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 3. And Devin Greer gets her first strikeout of the afternoon. There's one away in the top of the 4th inning. And it's back to the top of the order for the Scarlet Knights and shortstop number 23, Kylie Sand. Sand has grounded out and walked. After that walk, she later came around and scored in what was a 4-run second inning for Rutgers. Shows bunt, pulls back, ball low. And Greer back into the motion, and the pitch is called strike 1. Caught the black 1-1. Sandu has been wreaking havoc on the bases all series for the Hawkeyes. 26 stolen bases on the season. In a Rutgers team that has 77 overall, 3rd best in the Big Ten. And the 1-1 misses a little bit high. 2 balls and 1 strike. Sand was showing bunt again and pulled back. Avery Jackson, the Iowa third baseman, is playing in. Nowhere near as close as far in as we've seen the Rutgers third baseman have played in this series. And she swings away, fouls one off the left side in foul territory. Avery Jackson ranging back, but can't make the catch. It drops in foul territory. We've seen a couple of plays now in which Avery Jackson, she just likes diving after everything. If it's a foul ball, she doesn't care. Even if it's a ground ball down the third base line that is easily going to go foul, she's diving at it. She loves getting dirty. So the count's now 2-2. And here's the hard ground ball on the right side. Sammy Diaz diving stop, knocks it down, but it stays on the infield. Kylie Sand was fast enough out of the box, and she will reach on the infield single. Nice play from Sammy Diaz to at least knock it down. But now that's a one-out base hit for Kylie Sand. And remember, she is a threat to steal here. Get the official stats in front of me. She is 26 for 31 in stolen bases this season. And as she represents the game-tying run, don't be surprised if we see her moving now. Peyton Lynn Cabbage at the plate, checks her swing but fouls it off, 0-1. Lynn Cabbage is 1 for 1. Doubled on a hard ground ball down the third base line and is also walked. She also came around and scored in the second inning. This one misses low. Count evens at 1 apiece. Sand stands on first base. Devin Greer in the circle for the Hawkeyes. And runner goes, and here's a hit and run. Fly ball to right field, over the head of Nia Carter. One hops off the wall. Sand is rounding third. She's going to get sent home. The throw home, the play at the plate, and the tag is applied. And Kylie Sand is tagged out at the plate. A beautiful relay from Grace Baines and Nia Carter. The hit and run doesn't pay off for Rutgers. It goes over the head of Nia Carter. One hops off the wall. Carter gets it in quickly to the cutoff woman in Grace Baines just along the outfield. In her relay is a one hop to Skyland Pogue behind the plate, who fields it, and then Sand was tagged out easily. But again, really aggressive base running from this Rutgers squad. Morgan Smith now. Is the Rutgers batter. First base remains open, so we could expect a walk here. Rutgers out hitting Iowa in this game 5-3, but Iowa's leading on the scoreboard by a score of 5-4, and now Coach Mandy Gardner is going to make the walk out there to talk to Greer. Perhaps to tell Greer exactly what I was just thinking. First base is open. With as dangerous a hitter as Morgan Smith is at the plate, there's just no reason to give her anything good. You can put her on, especially since there's 2 outs. Morgan Smith is 1 for 1. Has singled on a line drive into left and has also walked. Mandy Gardner is still out there in the circle talking to Greer. Iowa leads it by 1, score of 5-4. Tying run is at second base in the form of Lynn Cabbage. The Iowa defense has really been putting on a show today. A couple of sliding and diving catches from Roman out in center, and then just a beautiful relay from Nia Carter to Grace Baines to Skyland Pogue, chopping down what was the game-tying run at the plate. 1-0 to Morgan Smith, and she swings and fouls one down the right field line. So it's now a 1-1 count. Morgan Smith, who's hitting over .650 in this series. It's a line drive in left center field, and it's going to find some grass. 2 hop off the wall. 1 run will score. Smith sides in safely into second base, and it's a game-tying double. A 2-hopper off the wall, off the bat of Morgan Smith. Lynn Cabbage scores from second base easily. And this game is tied 5-5. Iowa jumped out to a 5-0 lead. But Rutgers has scored 5 straight, and this game is tied. First pitch to Katie Wingert is an off-speed in the zone, 0-1. Very similar to what happened in yesterday's game. Iowa was leading 3-0 after 2 innings. But Rutgers eventually came and tied it up. Iowa was able to retake the lead and eventually win the game. But not something you really want to be continuously doing, getting a lead and then just giving it right up. The 1-1 is called strike. Catches the inside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Katie Wingert. Wingert, 1 for 1, has walked and doubled. The top of this Rutgers lineup has really been causing some damage. it's really just the top four who's been doing everything for the Scarlet Knights. Here's a line drive into right field. Gets over the glove of Baines. And Carter's throwing to first base, and she throws it away. A run's going to score for Rutgers, advancing to second. On the throw, on the errant throw is Wingert. Rutgers now lead is 6-5. Their first lead of the game. Nia Carter fielded it off one hop, and something we've seen her do all season long, really all career long, is if she feels something in right. And it's hit hardly. She's going to come up firing to first base. Sammy Diaz, first baseman, I don't know if she was necessarily ready for it. I think that's a situation where you just got to get the ball back into the infield, because Smith was not going to be able to score on the play. A pop fly in the infield called by Greer, and it hits off her glove. Runs coming home, and she retreats back to third. Devin Greer, who's calling off Sammy Diaz, the first baseman. And I think the wind was messing with her just a little bit. Hit off the edge of her glove. And that's an error. So that's 2 errors now for the Hawkeyes in this inning. And it's helped Rutgers take a 6-5 lead. 1 error by Nia Carter on the throw. And 1 error on Devin Greer on the dropped pop fly. And now here's a fly ball into right center field. Roman's going back, battling the wind, and makes the catch. And Iowa's finally able to get out of the inning, but not before Rutgers scores 2 and takes a 6-5 lead. As we head to the bottom of the 4th, you're listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. My name is Denali.
And I'm Briley, and we're members of your Iowa Hawkeye softball team.
Our team is striving to be number 1.
And that's why we trust our vehicles to Iowa City Tire and Service, the #1 automotive shop in Iowa City.
Where service actually comes first.
Iowa City Tire and Service, where their customers become friends because they treat you like family. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Proud sponsors of Hawkeye Softball.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/Iowans win.
Bottom of the 4th inning we go. Iowa trails for the first time today, 6-5. Briley Klosterman will lead things off. University of Iowa Healthcare has the game plan for your same-day healthcare needs. If you need treatment for a common illness or minor injury, visit one of several UI Quick Care or Urgent Care locations throughout the Iowa City-Cedar Rapids corridor. Their care and expertise will help you get back in the game. UI Healthcare is proud to sponsor your Iowa Hawkeyes. Your Iowa Hawkeyes scored 5 runs in the first inning. Five runs in the first inning to take a 5-0 lead. Rutgers responds with 4 in the top of the second. Iowa led 5-4 for a couple innings there, but now 2 runs scored in the top of the 4th for the Scarlet Knights. Gives them a 6-5 lead. They have 6 runs on 7 hits and 2 errors. Iowa has 5 runs on 3 hits and 2 errors. Just when I was talking about how the Iowa defense was really flashing the leather, 2 Iowa errors last inning on back-to-back plays helped Rutgers take the 6-5 lead. Klosterman watches ball 1. 1-0. Jaden Vickers still in the circle. Her third inning of relief. Is yet to give up a run yet. This after going complete game on Friday. Klosterman hits a ground ball to first base, which is picked up and stepped on the bag, did with Stanley. Tatiana Roman now for the Hawkeyes. Roman is 1 for 1. Singled on a hard ground ball down the third base line and walked. She came around and scored in the first inning. Watches ball one outside, 1-0. Roman, who's been swinging it well as of late for the Hawkeyes, had a 2-hit game on Friday, went 3 for 4 in Iowa's Sunday game against Minnesota last week, a week ago today. Called strike one on the outside half, 1 ball and 1 strike to the Iowa 2-hole hitter. Iowa trails for the first time today. Had only lost 1 time all season long when they scored a run in the first inning. Scored 5 of them today and are trailing. The 1-1 misses outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Now this is something this is a situation in which you need your leaders to take control. You need your seniors to take control. It's not up to the coaches, it's up to the seniors, it's up to the players. On their senior day, how are they going to respond? Your back's against the wall. What are you going to do? This one misses inside, 3 balls and 1 strike. 3 senior players on the team, Brianna Vasquez, Nia Carter, and Kalina Burns. Vasquez, who was the starting pitcher in this game, exited the game with the Hawkeyes holding a 1-run lead. The 3-1 misses outside. So that's a walk for Tatiana Roman. That is the 3rd walk of the game for Jaden Vickers. This after walking only 1 on Friday. It's Vickers' 29th appearance on the year, easily the most heavily used pitcher on this team. Nia Carter now, one of the seniors I was just talking about, is at the plate. She made a throwing error last inning and hits a hard ground ball, which is snagged by Whit Stanley over at first base. She makes the smart throw over to second. Really nice play there from Whit Stanley. The Rutgers first baseman fields it off 1 hop, outstretched as high as she could go. It was going to bounce over her head as high as she could. Was initially going to go and step on first, but then had the heads-up play to throw over to second and cut down Roman on the force out. So after starting the series 7 for 7, Nia Carter now is 0 for 3 on the day. Lecker watches. Ball 1 outside, 1-0. Maybe Sundays just aren't the days for Nia Carter. A week ago, she went 0 for 4 against Minnesota. Today is 0 for 3. Lecker is ahead 1-0. Lecker's 0 for 2. And the 1-0 is swung on and fouled off. Out of play, it'll reach the seats. 1 ball and 1 strike. Not as many fans in the crowd today. Friday nights, you always see a pretty big crowd. Saturday was Alumni Day. Essentially, the entire seating was full. And then today, and I mean, it's a 30-degree day outside with 25, 30-mile-an-hour winds at some points. As Lecker fouls off another one, 1-2. So the right side of the bleachers, the first base dugout side, I should say, right behind Rutgers' team dugout, is pretty empty. Iowa's side pretty full as normal, though. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Denali Lecker. Nia Carter is on first base. Hawkeyes trail by 1 in the bottom of the 4th inning. Vickers calls time and steps off the rubber. The 1-2 is another foul ball in foul territory down the right field line. And giving chase is Hura, but she overran it. The wind is just playing games with everybody today. It's Hura who came in as a defensive replacement this inning. Immediately gets some action, and she just overruns on something. The wind carried it way over her head. Lecker stays alive with 1 ball and 2 strikes. Iowa initially led 5-0, but now trail at 6-5. Looking to get a win on Senior Day. Lecker spoils another one. Out and off the black. Count is still 1 ball and 2 strikes. We've seen her do that all day thus far. Anything on the black, she's swinging at it. She's not going to let the umpire call her out on strikes. Vickers into the motion, and the 1-2 is a deep fly ball into center field. Back at the wall. Let's see. You later. Denali Lecker, a 2-run home run, and the Hawkeyes retake the lead 7-6. Denali Lecker, really the exact same spot she hit a home run off of Vickers on Friday. This one was gone off the bat. Stayed tough on a 1-2 count time and time again. And this time she sends one out over the center field wall. Iowa retakes the lead 7-6 on the 2-run home run off the bat of Denali Lecker. We said that she hadn't hit a home run in Big Ten play yet this season. Now she's got 2 of them in the same weekend off the pitch from Jaden Vickers. So after Iowa surrendered their 5-0 lead and started trailing 6-5, the 2-run home run from Denali Lecker Iowa lead is 7-6. Sammy Diaz watches ball 1, 1-0. And now it's a called strike on the outer half, 1-1. That is Lecker's 9th home run of the season. Went on a month-and-a-half drought without one, but now has hit 2 in 3 days, and Iowa lead is 7-6. Ball 2 outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Two balls and 1 strike. Iowa lead retaken. As this one misses low, 3 balls and 1 strike. You have to be asking yourself who's going to come back out into the circle for the Hawkeyes to start the 5th inning. Devin Greer is currently the one with the ball for Iowa. But as this game's getting into the later hours, maybe you have to give it off to one of your more seasoned pitchers who sees just a little bit more playing time in those crucial moments. Sammy Diaz draws the walk. And now Tori Bennett will bat for the Hawkeyes. Bennett's 1 for 2. Had a 2-run single in the 1st inning. They gave the Hawkeyes their first lead of the day and is also lined out into center field. Seeing the ball really well ever since getting moved down into the 6 hole. Vickers is really struggling for the first time this weekend after getting the complete game on Friday. And misses this one outside, 1-0. Iowa only has 4 hits in the game. Compare that to Rutgers' 7. But this is because Iowa has taken the lead because Vickers has now walked 4 Hawkeyes, 6 total walks today, and a hit by pitch from the Rutgers pitching staff. The 1-0 is called strike 1. On the outside corner, Tori Bennett doesn't like it. Here we are in the bottom of the 4th inning. The 1-1 from Vickers is a fly ball down the right field line in foul territory. Lawson has room and makes the catch just behind the first base bag. So that'll be a pop out in foul territory for Tori Bennett. But the Hawkeyes retake the lead. They get 2 runs off of the 2-run home run from Denali Lecker. And as we head to the top of the 5th inning, Iowa's going to have a pitching change. We'll tell you about it when we come back. Iowa leads 7-6. You're listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network.
At Oak Knoll, our mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served Iowa City for more than 55 years. Our team helps residents create home by living our values of caring, respect, enthusiasm, awareness, teamwork, and encouragement. If you're looking at retirement options, visit our website at oaknoll.com. We want you to lead life your way. Go Hawks!
The new pitcher for the Hawkeyes is freshman Jalen Adams. So we predicted that as this game is getting down into the winding moments, we're going to see a more traditional pitcher for the Hawkeyes. Jalen Adams, the new pitcher for Iowa. Adams pitched yesterday. She got the start. She went 5 innings, giving up 3 runs, but only 2 of them were earned. On 6 hits, 1 strikeout, and 2 walks. On the season, Adams has the best ERA on the team coming into the series, or coming into today's game, I should say. A 2.16 ERA, 7-11 record, over 113 and 1/3 innings pitched. Not a strikeout pitcher, however. 45 strikeouts to 26 walks. So Caleb Bach will re-enter the game. And hit in her spot. Has been replaced by Kobe Hura as a defensive replacement out in right field after Bach got the start. But Bach has re-entered and she's ahead 2-0 now. And Jalen Adams, first batter of the day. Here's a pop fly on the infield. Bennett calls off Jackson. And now there's one away. Good communication between the Hawkeye shortstop and third baseman. Now we have a pinch hitter in the place of with Stanley and in the place of Herka. It's going to be number 4, Lauren Punk. In what's been a very substitution-filled weekend for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Have to wonder if it's always like this. It's a situation in which Jalen Adams is coming in relief. It's not something that is typically done by her. This is only the 8th time that she's come out of the pen this season. And Punk comes up, swings first pitch, fouls it off, 0-1. Iowa lead is 7-6. Iowa has 7 runs on 4 hits and 2 errors. Rutgers 6 runs on 7 hits and 2 errors. Adams into the motion and the pitch. Misses outside, 1-1. The 1-1. Off-speed changeup misses low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Iowa leading on senior day. Jalen Adams, the freshman, is the one with the ball right now, though. Brianna Vasquez got the start for the Hawkeyes. She went 2 innings, gave up 4 runs on her senior day. Adams misses again. 3 balls and 1 strike. This season, Lauren Punk is hitting .238. Has 5 hits and 21 ABs. Draws the walk now. A 1-out walk from Jalen Adams. And the free passes continue for both teams. The 6th walk issued by Iowa pitching, while Rutgers has given up 6 of their own. And we have another pinch hitter. Hura will hit for Orange. Hura, who had came in and played as a defensive substitute. And she can't check her swing. And that's a sword. If you've ever seen bench warmers, it's not a sword. Don't chop at it. It was a chopping attempt right there from Kobe Hura. The count's 1-1. The pitch is upstairs. 2 balls and 1 strike. Hura is hitting .222 this year. 12 hits and 54 ABs. The one thing, though, she has 3 home runs. 3 of those 12 hits have gone over the wall. Wind is nearly pointing straight out towards right field, and this one runs inside. Nearly hits Hura. But just got out of the way. Bounce in front of the plate. Now Skyland Pogue is going to go out to the circle and have a talk with Jalen Adams. Adams, who in her first batter started with 2 straight balls before a pop fly. Walked Punk last batter on 5 pitches and is now behind 3 balls and 1 strike to Kobe Hura. So over 12 pitches, only 3 of them have been in the strike zone. The 3-1 is fouled in and off the hands of Hura, so the count is now full. Tying run is on base for Rutgers. But again, 1 run has meant nothing all series long. Iowa led 5-0. Rutgers made it 5-4, then took the lead 6-4. But Iowa's retaken the lead off of the 2-run home run from Denali Lecker. As we have another foul ball. Looking down in the Iowa batting cages, somebody's getting some swings in down there as they're picking up some softballs. I see 43. So that'll be Henderson. Emma Henderson, if we look ahead, as here's another foul ball. If we look ahead to the bottom of the 5th inning, due up for the Hawkeyes is Baines, Jackson, and Pogue. So we can expect a pinch hitter in the spot of either Jackson or Pogue when one of them comes up, with Emma Henderson warming up down in the cages out in left field. The 24-mile-an-hour winds just continue to perk up, reaches 30 miles an hour at some points. As here's a ground ball to Adams back in the circle, and she throws to second, and she throws it into center. Was trying to turn the double play or at least get the force out. And instead of throwing the ball to second base, Jalen Adams threw it behind Tori Bennett, who was going to cover. And it went into the outfield. 3rd error of the game for the Hawkeye defense. 2nd error coming on the part of an Iowa pitcher. So back to the top of the order. for Rutgers. Tying run is now in scoring position with Kylie Sand at the plate. Watch as strike one on the inside corner. Sand is grounded out, walked, and singled. An infield single that just hit off the diving glove of Sammy Diaz. The 0-1 misses upstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike. Punk is on second base. The 1-1 is up high. 2 balls and 1 strike. Jalen Adams still struggling with command. Don't want to give Sand anything too good to hit, but you really don't want to walk the bases loaded either with Lynn Cavage waiting on deck. The 2-1 called strike catches the black on the outer half to the left-handed batting Sand. Sand this season is hitting .500 when there are runners on base. A .444 batting average on the season. And here's a fly ball into center field. Roman and Carter. Roman will make the catch. Faking to tag was Punk at second base. Really good job from Tatiana Roman to get the ball in quickly. The runners fail to advance. Really important out there for Jalen Adams. They are now 2 away as Peyton Lynn Cavage will bat for the Scarlet Knights. Lynn Cavage is 2 for 2 and has also walked. She's got a pair of doubles. 1 to left, 1 to right center. Watches a first pitch changeup out of the hand of Jalen Adams. Called strike on the inside corner, 0-1. Also look down into the Iowa bullpen. You see Denali Lecker is getting loose for the Hawkeyes. So if Jalen Adams were to get in any more trouble, I have to imagine Lecker would come in. Foul ball off the bat of Lynn Cavage, and the count is now 0-2. Tying run is in scoring position for the Scarlet Knights. The 0-2 from Adams. Misses upstairs, 1-2. There are 2 runners on. Rutgers trails by 1 run after Denali Lecker hit a 2-run home run to give the Hawkeyes a 7-6 lead. Over 2 hours into this game, and we're only in the top of the 5th inning. And here's a hard ground ball down the third base line and foul. This is an entire Rutgers offense, especially in the top of the order, that just pulls everything down the line. And we say that the top of the order is where all the damage comes from for this Rutgers team. 1 through 4 in the lineup, as another foul ball is hit, pulled foul. The top of the Rutgers lineup, 1 through 4, is 7 for 9. 1 through 4 is 7 for 9 in the order. And then 5 through 9 in all the other pinch hitters that have come into the game is 0 for 9. Lynn Cavage fouls off another one. So she is hung tough with 2 strikes as well. 3 straight 2-strike foul balls off the bat of the Rutgers third baseman. The 1-2 is high and in the eyes. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Deuces are wild. Very cold and very windy day here in Iowa City. 25 to 30 mile an hour winds at all times. The 2-2 pitch from Adams. Line drive down the left field line and just foul. Maybe about a foot to the left of that foul line. That would have scored probably 2 runs for Rutgers. More than likely would have retaken the lead in what would have been Lynn Cavage's 3rd double of the afternoon. But it just goes down as a long strike. The count is still 2-2. 2 outs, 2 runners on. Adams into the motion and the pitch. Called strike 3. A beautiful changeup out of the hand of the freshman Jalen Adams. And Rutgers strands the tying run in scoring position. As we head to the bottom of the 5th, Iowa leads at 7-6. You're listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/IowansWin.
Iowa lead by 1 as we're in the bottom of the 5th inning as we hit the 5th inning stretch. Iowa looking to win their first series in 2 weeks in the Big Ten play. Haven't won a series since sweeping Michigan State 2 weekends ago. Rutgers won game 1 of the series on Friday, 5-3. Iowa evened things up yesterday with a 7-4 win. And Iowa is leading 7-6 at the moment. When corn grows fuel, Iowans win. Ethanol is a renewable fuel that's better for our environment, our health, and our wallets. Share your winning moments using hashtag IowansWin. Plus, you'll be eligible for some fun, corny giveaways. Grace Baines to lead things off, fouls off first pitch. Grace Baines at the plate to lead off the bottom of the 5th inning. Baines is 1 for 1 today. Has a singled on a pop fly into right field. It was a bloop single that drove in Torrey Bennett for the Hawkeyes' 5th run of the 1st inning. Baines has also walked. Counts even at 1 apiece now. Grace Baines, who can play pretty much anywhere on the infield, started at third base for much of the Big Ten series. But with Avery Jackson getting the start the last couple of games, Baines moves over to second base. Bit of a utility player. Fouls another one off. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The 1-2 misses way up and out. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jaden Vickers is still in the circle for Rutgers. Has thrown 74 pitches in this game and has given up 4 free passes via the walk to Iowa batters. Iowa only has 4 hits, but they have 7 runs to show for it. As Baines fouls off another one. As a team, including Ashley Hitchcock, who pitched the 1st inning for Rutgers, the Scarlet Knights have walked 6 Hawkeyes. The count's 2-2 to Grace Baines, who is leading off the bottom of the 5th inning for Iowa. And she hits a line drive into right field down the right field line, and going over to make the catch is Hura. Really nice jump off the bat. Thought that might be able to drop in safely, and Baines would have had a double. But a really good read initially from Hura, who goes over and makes the catch for the first out of the bottom of the 5th inning. Avery Jackson now. Jackson is the 8-hole in today's lineup. Jackson is 0 for 1, is struck out and also walked. Her walk came in that 1st inning in which 10 Hawkeyes came to bat. She shows bunt, puts it down right back to the pitcher, however, and Vickers spins around and throws over to first to retire Jackson. Really nice play from Jaden Vickers. We're going to have a pinch hitter now, and I was correct. In the place of Pogue, will be number 43, Emma Henderson. I said about half inning ago that we saw Henderson getting loose down in the batting cages. She will get the pinch hitting spot right now. Henderson has come to the plate once already in this series. She struck out in her pinch hitting opportunity in Game 1 on Friday. On the season, Emma Henderson's hitting .273. 6 hits and 22 ABs. Bit of a smaller sample size. Swinging first pitch, fouls it off, 0-1. As I said, 6 hits and 22 ABs. Has a pair of RBIs. The 0-1 misses outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. I will say Henderson has the same amount of strikeouts that she does hits, but again, it's a smaller sample size. This only her 17th appearance of the season. Has 22 at-bats. The 1-1 is a weak ground ball down the third base line, but foul. Henderson was just a little bit out in front of that off speed on the inner part of the plate. A little bit out in front. She just hits it off the end of the bat, and it was a weak ground ball. A 1-2 count. Henderson in a tough spot coming into the game off the bench. And this 40-degree weather in Iowa City, at least they're in the dugout, and their backs are to the wind. So they get to avoid that. The 1-2. She lunges out and just pokes it down the right field line and foul. Staying tough with 2. Hawkeyes lead it by 1 in the bottom of the 5th inning. The count's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Emma Henderson, who's pinch hitting for Skyland Pogue. And here's a fly ball down the right field line. It'll stay in fair territory, and Hura makes the catch. For out number 3, Iowa goes 3 up, 3 down in the bottom of the 5th inning. We head to the top of the 6th. Hawks lead by 1. You're listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network.
Knowing that I can make a difference in my patients' lives keeps me motivated every single day. Hi, I'm Dr. Kanya Ferguson at University of Iowa Healthcare. With academic medicine, we see the toughest cases, so we're always innovating. And we bring the best minds together to collaborate, so there's more brain power focused on you. Because that leads to exceptional care for our patients and our community. See how at uihc.org.
At Oak Knoll, our mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served Iowa City for more than 55 years. Our team helps residents create home by living our values of caring, respect, enthusiasm, awareness, teamwork, and encouragement. If you're looking at retirement options, visit our website at oakknoll.com. We want you to lead life your way. Go Hawks!
Iowa lead is 7-6 as we head to the top of the 6th inning. Jalen Adams back out there in the circle for Iowa, as Iowa's looking to take Game 3 of our 3-game set in their final home Big Ten game of the year against the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. I am Lucas Strain. You've been listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield. Top of the 6th inning, leading off will be Morgan Smith, the 3-hole hitter for this Rutgers team. She is 2 for 2 in this game and really has left her mark all over this series all weekend long. Ball 1, a little low and inside, 1-0. They say she's left her mark as she watches ball 2 missing a similar spot, 2-0. Because coming into the game, Morgan Smith was 5 for 8 and is 2 for 2 today. So she is hitting .700 in this series. The 2-0 is just fouled off the bat of Morgan Smith. 2 balls and 1 strike. And I'm really happy with how Iowa has bounced back, getting leadoff batters out. Something they really struggled with over the last 3 days. Only 1 leadoff batter has reached for the Scarlet Knights. The 2-1 misses inside, 3 balls and 1 strike now. So the count's 3-1. Morgan Smith in very much a hitter's count, who loves hitting lasers down the left side. Just fouls one off. It was probably ball 4 that was going to run low and inside on her. Hawkeyes looking to make these final 6 outs and hold on to this 1-run lead. A lead that was given to them off of a 2-run home run from Denali Lecker, her 2nd home run of the weekend. And there is ball 4 inside. Morgan Smith draws her 2nd walk of the afternoon, has now reached base safely in all 4 plate appearances. Katie Wingert has also reached every single time in this game. She has walked, doubled, and singled. She's got a pair of RBIs in the game as well. She shows bunt now, though, and it goes foul. Avery Jackson, the Iowa third baseman, does a good job of letting that go foul. Kind of curious is Katie Wingert's 2 for 2 in this game with the walk. And we're having her bunt. She shows bunt again. This one's high. And it's now 1 ball and 1 strike. And I say I'm curious because if you look at the top 4 in the lineup, like I said, that's where all of the production has come. Taylor Fawcett, who waits on deck, is 0 for 3 in this game. And here's a bunt in the air, goes over the netting. So it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Iowa would almost maybe rather have the bunt have gotten down safely than rather have Katie Wingert swing away. The 1-2 pitch from Adams. Off-speed pitch, pop fly, foul territory. Giving chases Avery Jackson. We got a collision. Avery Jackson makes the catch. Tripped over the leg of Skyland Pogue. Jackson's able to hold on. She's limping out into the circle. But the out was made. A pop fly in foul territory. The wind was just playing with it. Nearly brings the ball back into fair territory. And she appears to be in quite a bit of pain. Her and Skyland Pogue, the catcher, collided with one another as the athletic trainer is going to make her way out there. She's probably fine. She's given the A-OK to the trainer. But that's a very important first out for the Hawkeyes. Nice play by Avery Jackson to hold on following the collision. And a very heads-up play to look up and make sure Morgan Smith doesn't advance. 1 away, Smith's on first, and Taylor Fawcett's at the plate. Fawcett is 0 for 3. She's swinging away, and she hits it at Avery Jackson, but foul. It's the old saying on Diamond Sports, if you're not looking for the ball's going to find you. So Avery Jackson, who had just had a collision, the ball's testing her already. I wouldn't have been surprised. Coach Butler decides to put the bunt down and test Jackson's leg. And we had a ball up and in the eyes, and Fawcett's able to check her swing. 1 ball and 1 strike. Jalen Adams in her 2nd inning of relief. Denali Lecker is still warming down in the Iowa pen, has thrown 130 pitches over the last 2 days. Another ground ball down the third base line and foul. Jalen Adams, not a strikeout pitcher. Really likes to use her defense behind her. She's ahead 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Taylor Fawcett. the senior left fielder for Rutgers. The 1-2. He's pulled down the left field line. Scares our camera crew. In the netting, hits the netting, and it's just a little bit loose. We got someone down there taking pictures and nearly hits us right in the head. Count is still 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the pitch is a ground ball to Jackson at third base. She throws to second for the force out. The throw to first goes into the dugout. So that'll go down as an error for the Hawkeyes defensively, their 4th error of the game. They get the fielder's choice, so they get the 5-4 putout. But that error will be charged against Grace Baines. Hawkeyes' 4th error of the game. But now that puts the game-tying run in scoring position with 2 outs. Maddie Lawson's at the plate. Lawson watches strike 1, 0-1. She is 0 for 1. Has been retired on balls in the air and all 3 times. A pair of flyouts and a lineout on what was a diving play from Tatiana Roman. Fly ball to Klosterman out in left field. Left center field, Klosterman gives chase and makes the catch on the run. Wind was giving her a little bit of difficulty, but Klosterman makes the catch in left center field, and the game-tying run is stranded at second base for the 2nd inning in a row. As we head to the bottom of the 6th, Iowa lead is 7-6. You're listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network.
At Oak Knoll, our mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served Iowa City for more than 55 years. Our team helps residents create home by living our values of caring, respect, enthusiasm, awareness, teamwork, and encouragement. If you're looking at retirement options, visit our website at oakknoll.com. We want you to lead life your way. Go Hawks!
Bottom of the 6th inning. Due up for the Hawkeyes is 1, 2, and 3 in the Iowa order. They lead it by 1 off the 2-run home run from Denali Lecker. Iowa City Tire and Service is a proud supporter of Hawkeye Softball. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Iowa City Tire, where service actually comes first. Briley Klosterman will lead off for Iowa. Klosterman is 0 for 2. Has struck out, grounded out, and reached on a fielder's choice. And that fielder's choice came in the bottom of the 1st inning. She eventually came around and scored as well. First run of the game for the Hawkeyes in what was a 5-run 1st inning for Iowa. Into the motion goes Vickers, who's back out for her 5th inning of relief. Misses ball 1 up high, 1-0. She came in the 2nd inning. Did Vickers when Rutgers was trailing 5-4. Her team came back and took the lead 6-5. She pumps in strike 1, 1-1. But then right after Rutgers took the lead in the top of the 4th, Iowa responds in the home half with a 2-run home run off the bat of Denali Lecker. The lefty-lefty matchup between Vickers and Briley Klosterman. And this one is up high for ball 2. We said Vickers has been struggling with command all day. Just a little bit over half of her pitches have been in the strike zone as she's walked 4 Hawkeye batters. This after only walking 1 in her start on Friday, in which she went the complete game, giving up 3 runs on 8 hits. Klosterman fouls one off the netting, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Iowa's last home Big Ten game of the season. Senior Day in Iowa City. Seniors will be recognized. 3 student athletes and 3 student managers will be recognized following the result of the game. The 2-2 is a foul ball that goes into the seats. And the count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Iowa lead by 1, just need 3 more outs in the top half of the 7th inning, and they'll come away with a series victory win. Their first series win in 2 weeks. The 2-2 to Klosterman is called strike 3. Fastball on the outer half, right on the black. Really good pitch from Jaden Vickers. It's Vickers' 5th strikeout of the game. And there's 1 away in the bottom of the 6th. Tatiana Roman up for the Hawks. She's reached base safely, and all 3 ABs had a hard ground ball of a single down the third base line in the first and has walked twice. She swings first pitch, hits a soft ground ball back up the middle, over his sand, but she can't make the play. She fields it cleanly, but Tatiana Roman, who takes that slap approach, was already there by the time Sand had even gotten the ball. So that's her 2nd single of the game, an infield single. She has now reached base in all 4 plate appearances. Nia Carter is looking for her first base hit of the game, which is not something you can typically say for the senior from California. 4-year starter who has the 3rd most hits in Iowa history in a single season. Shows bunt, pulls back, strike 1 on the call. Before today's game, Carter was 7 for 7 in the series, with 7 singles, 6 singles and 1 double, including a bases clearing hit in the bottom of the 5th inning in yesterday's game. She's 0 for 3 today. And here's a line drive down the right field line, but foul. About, I'd say, 3-4 feet to the right of the foul line out in right field. Tatiana Roman would have more than likely scored on the play if it was in fair territory. She's grounded into a couple of fielders' choices and flied out into left center field. Ultimate announcer's jinx is yesterday in the postgame press conference. I was rattling off to Coach Gillespie that Nia Carter is yet to get out in the series. And she just stays alive on a fastball on the outer half. Kind of lunges out at it, but gets just enough. No balls and 2 strikes to Nia Carter. Carter, who is one of the 3 players who will be recognized for their senior day activities following the game. The 0-2 is a ground ball to shortstop, fielded by Sand. Her flip over to second goes into right field. An errant throw from Kylie Sand. And the Hawkeyes now have 2 runners on with 1 out. Rutgers' 3rd error of the game, their first one since the 1st inning, and their 7th one of the series. Denali Lecker will bat now for the Hawkeyes. We're going to have a mound in the circle for the Scarlet Knights. Jaden Vickers doesn't appear to be leaving the game. Just more of a discussion with the entire infield. Denali Lecker is the one batting right now, who again homered in her last at-bat. A 2-run homer that gave the Iowa Hawkeyes a 7-6 lead, a lead which they currently hold now. Iowa up 7-6. Denali Lecker at the plate with 1 out and 2 runners on. Tatiana Roman's on second after hitting an infield single. And Nia Carter's on first after Kylie Sand threw the ball away while trying to cut down the lead runner in Roman for the fielder's choice. Meeting's over. Lecker's swinging first pitch. Fly ball out to right center field. Back, wall, track. It's gone! Denali Lecker, her second home run of the day. Third one of the weekend. A 3-run home run, and the Hawkeyes lead it 10-6. This wind, 25 to 30 mile an hour winds, just doing everything it can to help out Denali Lecker. A home run that just got over the edge of the wall. A fly ball out to right field. Her second home run and as many ABs. Umpires are talking things over. And we're talking about we have quite the controversy that's going to happen here. Our umpires came together and talked things through. And the umpire said Denali Lecker didn't touch first base. They said Denali Lecker didn't touch first. Or they said Denali Lecker passed Nia Carter. The ball was in the air, so Nia Carter, it looked like it could have been caught by the right fielder in Hura. Denali Lecker's not going to get the home run. They're calling her out. I can't wait to see how Leandra has to try and mark this one in the computer, because this is chaotic. Our umpire is holding up 2 fingers while talking to the Rutgers coach. I will be honest, I have no idea what's happening right now. They're saying, I am assuming Denali Lecker did not touch first base. I have no idea what's happening. The runners are not getting brought back out. So, how I think this is going to go down is it goes down as a home run. Denali Lecker missed first base. It's no home run, but the 2 runs still count. It just goes down to, and it'll go down as a not a home run for Denali Lecker. But 2 runs score on the play, so instead of a 10-6 game, it's just 9-6. Denali Lecker not touching first base on the play. But nonetheless, the score is just now 9-6. I have no idea how this is supposed to get marked, but it's 9-6 game. 2 runs score on the play. Sammy Diaz is at the plate. She's ahead 2-0. There's 2 outs now. Denali Lecker is called out. She hit the ball over the wall. Said that she missed first base after the umpires came together and talked it over. This is a game that's seen pretty much everything. Iowa jumped out to a 5-0 lead, scoring 5 runs in the first inning. Rutgers responds with 4 in the top of the second, make it a 5-4 game. Rutgers then takes a 6-5 lead in the top of the fourth, as ball 3 to Diaz skims the dirt 3-0. Rutgers took a 6-5 lead in the top of the fourth inning. Iowa immediately responds with a home run, a 2-run homer off the bat of Denali Lecker in the bottom of the fourth to retake a 7-6 lead. And now in the bottom of the 6th, the Hawkeyes had 2 runners on. Denali Lecker hits a ball over the wall. But the umpires say she didn't touch first base. So 2 runs score, but Denali Lecker doesn't count. Doesn't go down as a home run. And strike 1 is thrown to Diaz. 3 balls and 1 strike. So now the score is, the count's 3-1. Diaz draws the walk, something she's very inept to do. Top 10 in walks in the Big Ten. Tori Bennett now, the Hawkeye batter. Bennett's 1 for 3. Has a 2-run single, as it looks like we might have a pitching change for Rutgers. And we will have a pitching change. New pitcher for Rutgers is number 27. I believe that's Georgia Engel. Yes, Georgia Engel, who pitched yesterday as well. Georgia Engel, the new Rutgers pitcher. In her appearance yesterday, she went 1 1/3 innings, giving up 2 hits, no runs, getting 1 strikeout. Her ERA on the season is the best on the team, but she's only thrown 23 innings this year. 1.22 ERA over 23 innings pitched in 11 appearances. The wind is nearly blowing the foul poles out of the ground by now. They've been shaken all day, but they are now just constantly leaning. This wind is the strongest it's been all day. Now the weather app I'm using says that it's still only 24, but this is up to one of those 30-plus gusts that we've been seeing all afternoon. Strongest it's been all day, though. Tori Bennett is up. Sammy Diaz stands on first after getting a 2-out walk. New pitcher is Georgia Engel. After what's been a chaotic game, to say the least. There are 2 away, a 1-0 count to Tori Bennett after Denali Lecker hit originally a 3-run home run, but she didn't step on first base, so she's counted out. It's now 1 ball and 1 strike. It was the 3rd ball that Denali Lecker hit over the wall this weekend, her 2nd one of the game, when it doesn't go down as a home run. Here's a line drive into the right center field gap. Tori Bennett rounds first, but stays at the bag. Sammy Diaz goes from first to third, and that's a 2-out base hit for Tori Bennett, her 2nd one of the day. Her 2nd 2-out single on the day. First one came in the 1st inning with the bases loaded and 2 outs. This time, a 2-out single into the right center field gap, and Tori Bennett is finally swinging it well again. Grace Baines is now batting in the bottom of the 6th inning. She's 1 for 2. She's walked and singled. And here's an off-speed. Misses up high. 1-0. I will say this is one of the craziest games that we've ever seen. Now, home runs going over the wall and not counting statistically is something, it's not something you see happen often, but it has happened before. As here's a ground ball to shortstop, fielded by Sand, and her throw is low but caught by Punk at first base. But the Hawks add 2 more off of the Really strange home run from Denali Lecker. We head to the top of the 7th inning. Iowa leads it 9-6. You're listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. My name is Denali.
And I'm Briley, and we're members of your Iowa Hawkeye softball team.
Our team is striving to be number one.
And that's why we trust our vehicles to Iowa City Tire and Service, the #1 automotive shop in Iowa City.
Where service actually comes first.
Iowa City Tire and Service, where their customers become friends because they treat you like family. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Proud sponsors of Hawkeye Softball.
To the top of the 7th inning we go. Iowa lead is 9-6. Denali Lecker is now in to pitch for the Hawkeyes after hitting 2 home runs over the fence, but only one of them counts as a home run. The Iowa Corn Cyhawk Series is all about celebrating our student athletes as well as our state's corn farmers. Just like the Cyclones and Hawkeyes work hard all year to get ready for the season ahead, so do Iowa's corn farmers, growing a crop used in over 4,000 products. That's a win for all Iowans. Kayla Bach, who switched over to the DP, is now batting. She will lead off the top of the 7th inning in what's a 3-run deficit for the Scarlet Knights. Hawkeyes just 3 outs away from winning this rubber match and getting the win on Senior Day in what is their final home Big Ten game of the season. Looking to improve their positioning heading into the playoff push. And Denali Lecker spikes the first one. 1-0, goes bowling, hits about 3-4 feet in front of the mound, in front of the plate, excuse me. Now Coach Gillespie is out there to talk to our home plate umpire. She's just asking questions. Doesn't really seem to be anything bad. It was more asking for clarification, I feel like, on a certain thing. But Denali Lecker in the circle. See how she can bounce back mentally from all the chaos that ensued last weekend. And here's a fly ball back towards right field. Nita Carter's going back and makes the catch. And the Hawkeyes are 2 outs away from winning their first series in 2 weeks. 1 out, Lauren Punk will bat for Rutgers. Punk walked in her only other plate appearance. Another one of those Rutgers players that didn't start today but has seen a lot of chaos. Here's a diving catch by Avery Jackson over at third base. Right on top of the third base bag, swinging first pitch was Punk. And Avery Jackson makes a diving catch right on top of the third base bag. The third diving play we've seen from a Hawkeye defender today. Rutgers is down to their final chance now. A pinch hitter. This is going to be Georgia Engel, who is pitching, so she's now hitting in her own spot. Georgia Engel this season only has 14 at-bats. She's 4 for 14, a .286 batting average. Does not hit very often, but she's hitting in her own spot now. Left-handed batter. Rutgers is down to their final out. Iowa lead is 3. Denali Lecker into the motion, and taking first pitch is Engel. It's a ball inside, 1-0. Denali Lecker looking for her 8th save of the season. 1-0 becomes 2-0 as this one missed low and away to Georgia Engel, the sophomore pitcher. Iowa defense is playing straight up. Lecker into the motion in the 2-0. Swung on and missed for strike one. 2 balls and 1 strike. Denali Lecker, a pair of balls hit over the wall in this game. In what's been a hectic game 3. The 2-1. Swung on and missed, or just got a piece of it for a foul ball. Did Engel. It's now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Iowa is now just a strike away from winning this game. The 2-2 is called. Strike 3. Denali Lecker gets the strikeout as this game goes final. Your final score, the Iowa Hawkeyes 9, Rutgers Scarlet Knights 6. Denali Lecker got to be the MVP of this game. 2 hits over the wall, as well as her 8th save of the season. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back for our post-game coverage. You've been listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network.
After a cancer diagnosis, it's natural to want to start treatment right away. But first, get a second opinion from a team that specializes in your cancer. I'm Dr. George Weiner, Director of University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center. Before you start treatment, you deserve to be confident you have the right diagnosis and know every option available to you. So whether it's with us or somewhere else, get a second opinion. It can change your care and your life.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. My name is Denali.
And I'm Briley, and we're members of your Iowa Hawkeye softball team.
Our team is striving to be number 1.
And that's why we trust our vehicles to Iowa City Tire and Service, the #1 automotive shop in Iowa City.
Where service actually comes first.
Iowa City Tire and Service, where their customers become friends because they treat you like family. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Proud sponsors of Hawkeye softball.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/IowansWin.
At Oak Knoll, our mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served Iowa City for more than 55 years. Our team helps residents create home by living our values of caring, respect, enthusiasm, awareness, teamwork, and encouragement. If you're looking at retirement options, visit our website at oakknoll.com. We want you to lead life your way. Go Hawks!
Time for our post-game coverage here of Iowa softball. Iowa wins by a final score of 9-6 over the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. They win the series 2-1. Rutgers won game 1 on Friday by a score of 5-3. Iowa evened things up yesterday, 7-4. And they win today's game 9-6. Iowa wins their second game in a row after losing 5 straight. Hawkeyes moved to 30-22 on the season and an even 10-10 in Big Ten play. Rutgers falls to 31-22, 8-12 in the Big Ten. If we're going to take a look at our star player of the game, the first person you have to mention is Denali Lecker. Denali Lecker hits 2 balls over the fence, one of them a 2-run home run. They gave the Hawkeyes a 7-6 lead, and then a 3-run-ish, I guess you could say, home run in the bottom of the 6th inning, in which she hit the ball over the fence with 2 runners on, but she didn't step on first base, so she was called out. The 2 runs still score. In what is crazy. I mean, that's a play that you might never hardly ever see. Just because it's rare doesn't mean it doesn't ever happen. I remember back to when I was 9 or 10 years old, teammate Grant Garwood It's his first home run of his life, but he didn't step on home, so it was called off. Denali Lecker fails to step on first base, so her run doesn't count, but it doesn't matter. As the Hawkeyes win by 3, Denali Lecker comes in and gets the save as well. Pitched in all 3 games this weekend. Throwing 137 pitches between the 3 appearances. Gets the save today. Another person who stood out on the offensive side for Iowa, Tatiana Roman, reaches base safely in all 4 plate appearances. Goes 2 for 2 with a pair of singles, walked twice, and also scored a pair of runs. Tori Bennett also had a 2-hit day at the plate. Came up and the bases loaded with 2 outs in the first inning in a scoreless game. And Tori Bennett laces a single into left field, 2-run score. And then on an errant throw to second base on a throwback, it goes into center field and the 3rd run scores on the play. And what led to a 5-run first inning for the Hawkeyes. Iowa led it 5-0 after the first. Rutgers responds with a 4-run top of the second. Makes it a 5-4 game. Stays that way for a little bit. Top of the 4th inning, Rutgers scores 2 to take a 6-5 lead, and things looked bleak for the Hawkeyes. But then, in the bottom half of that 4th inning, Denali Lecker hits a 2-run home run, her first one of the day, her second one of the weekend, second one in Big Ten play. Retakes the 7-6 lead for the Hawkeyes. And Iowa never looked back. I already told you what happened in the bottom of the 6th. In what was a crazy weekend, Brianna Vasquez got the start for Iowa. She went 2 innings, gave up 4 runs, and what's been a really tough skid for her over the last couple of days. Devin Greer gets the win for the Hawkeyes. She went 2 innings in relief of Brianna Vasquez. She gave up 2 runs, but only 1 was earned. And really, it was a really hot and cold day for the Iowa defense, to say the least, as well. And senior activities have finally started after this game. Seniors getting recognized on the field. We won't stay live for that, but it has started for those who were curious. 4 Iowa errors, but also 4 fantastic plays. So they kind of evened out, don't you think? Tatiana Roman, a sliding catch out in shallow center field, then follows it up with a diving catch of just maybe even more difficult play. What was a beautiful relay toss, which cut down what was at that point the game-tying run at the plate between Nia Carter, Grace Baines, and Skyland Pogue. Literally drawn up beautifully. You can't coach any better type of relay home. And then Avery Jackson, a diving play in the top of the 7th inning, right on top of the third base bag. But Iowa wins it by a final score of 9-6. They return home for their final home game of the season this next Wednesday, a game against the Northern Iowa Panthers. A celebration of 50 years of Iowa women's athletics. A very good UNI team that might just win the Missouri Valley Conference in what will be a tough matchup for the Hawkeyes to close out their home schedule. Final home game of the year before having their final road trip of the season as well next weekend against Wisconsin before they start the Big Ten tournament in a week and a half in Champaign, Illinois. But that's going to do it for our post-game press conference. Not post-game press conference, post-game coverage of this one. Again, final score, Iowa 9, Rutgers 6. We thank you very much for listening to this edition of Iowa Softball, wherever you may be. I'm Lucas Strain. Have a good night, everybody. And as always, go Hawks.
Iowa Hawkeye Softball has been brought to you by Homewood and Home 2 Suites, preferred hotel of the Hawkeye Radio Network. Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. When corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Oak Knoll, an active life care community. University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Wimmer's Meats, the official hot dog of the Hawkeyes. And by Iowa City Tire and Service, a proud supporter of Hawkeye softball. Iowa City Tire, where service actually comes first. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.